Okay, so in this video, we're going to be comparing the Stihl Br700 to the Echo 8110. So you got 65 cc's versus an 80 cc's. Now this machine here, the Echo, is 3 pounds heavier than the Stihl. Okay, and it has a bigger fuel tank by, I think, 20% or something like that it was, yeah. So we're going to be doing this video, and we're going to test them. I'm going to try out this one because I haven't tried this one out yet. And then we're going to do a comparison test. We're going to set up a pile of leaves and blow them. You know, set the machines up, start them, you know, on full throttle, let them run for 10 seconds, shut them off, and see how far the path is that they blew. I mean, there's no other way than that. This way you take out, you know, user error and, you know, somebody better, you know, with it than another person, somebody who's taller, somebody who's shorter, you know. So we're going to be doing this test. And I want to see, because I think the little Stihl here, you know, I think that one is kind of like a dark horse compared to this guy. I mean, this machine's only like a year or so old. Hasn't been used much. Where this one is mine, and I've used it for residential and commercial use. Probably have about maybe 100 to 125 hours, and this thing's probably only got about 20 hours on max. So it should be a good apples to apples comparison, or not so apples to apples. But the Echo actually weighs 3 pounds more. So it's a bigger backpack blower, and it has a higher volume of airspeed too, only like 100 CFMs more, which I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference when you're talking 900 and change to 1,000 and change CFMs. Straps on this one are a little bit better. They're a little more high quality with a little more padding. It's got this like plastically egg crate thing for the back, which I don't really like. Has the same trigger throttle. It's adjustable up and down and side to side, which the Stihl is not. The tube is non-collapsible, but you could take the sections off and, you know, make it smaller there. But I mean, you'd have to slide that off every time you go to put it in your truck or in your trailer. The tip is metal on the end, so it's not going to get all boogered up and everything. But yeah, I thought they were going to be comparable machines, but I didn't realize this was only 65 cc's. I mean, that's a big difference. But I've used both these backpack blowers. This one I borrowed from a friend. I've used it a few times on his property. And this is a good backpack blower. This is a good backpack blower. I thought this was a 70 cc, but I didn't realize it was an 80 cc. It's got this big filter box up here, as you can see, and it's got a big like landscape lawnmower style air filter, almost like a cartridge filter, like a car would have. But let's put that back. And it's got a little pre-filter in there too. As you can see, this machine has not been used that much. This machine's about 2 years old. He bought it, and he only used it for his personal property. So it didn't really get much. What the hell's going on? Okay. So it doesn't get as much use as like something like mine was. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple tests on this. And we're going to see just how far they blow the leaves. We're going to lay them down and just let the chutes go and just accelerate them up. And what we're going to do is we're going to see how powerful they are compared to each other. And then I'll try it out quick, and I'll show you how it works and everything. We'll do a start video and everything. So, all right. All right, now we're going to do a starting procedure. This one's a little bit different than the Stihl. As you can see, it's cold. I'm touching the muffler. This machine's been sitting, so it's nice and cold. The primer bulb's on the bottom, so we'll hit that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The choke, I don't know if you can see it, but it's here. It's kind of like a little flimsy lever, but it does snap back on its own. So we'll go full choke. Jeez, this thing's got compression. That's it. You can hear it. Sounds like a dirt bike. It is a lot louder than the little Stihl. I mean, look at it shaking over there and everything. Listen to it. Let it warm up before we use it, but it sounds like a dirt bike. It actually is kind of funny. All right, now let's try it out on the other side of my house. There's not many leaves, but there's more as we get towards the back. So Let's see what it does. Alright, so as you can see, I mean, it's blowing them a little bit, maybe a little bit further than the Stihl, but they're also a lot drier. When I did this video, the other video the other day, they were a lot wetter. That was 2 days ago. So, you know, they're a lot drier than they were last time I did this with the Stihl. Alright, so as you can see, this is usually the edge I usually blow to, so I wanted to hit some of that more matted down wet leaves, and it did pretty good. You can see they're pretty damp and pretty yucky. But, I mean, is it more powerful? I mean, the weight-wise, this thing is 3 pounds heavier. So that 3 pounds doesn't sound like a lot, but fill them both up with fuel, and they're 3 pounds heavier makes, I think, a pretty big difference. So, all right, now we're going to do a test. I'm going to blow a pile of leaves, and we're going to try them and see who can push them the furthest without moving the tube. Just the air pressure that comes out the tube. Going to make a pile and see which one blows it further. All right, so we're back. I blew a big pile of leaves, and we're going to see. We're going to start them up on full throttle and see which one can blow the leaves the furthest. We'll try to give them around the same amount of time, but I'm going to start them on full throttle. As you can see, I got them pretty much lined up, but I see an issue already. Look how much further back this machine is. So the more powerful machine is further back. That might hurt it. I bet you it's going to be off about that foot. I just have a feeling it's going to be off that foot. So in this test, we're going to see how far we can blow the leaves. You know what I mean? And then we'll shut them off and we'll see the pattern. We'll let them run for a little bit so they clear the leaves out. There should be enough apart so they won't pillage off each other. But we're going to do the Echo first. So we'll start it up, go right to full throttle. And then we'll do this. Then we'll do the Stihl. Same thing. It won't start on full throttle. Well, that's stupid. I won't start at all. All right, that was 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Looks like it did pretty good. Now we'll see what the Stihl does. Maybe the Stihl will start on full throttle. Okay. I see a winner already. All right, as you can see, now they kind of got grouped up here, but the Stihl went to there and the Echo went to here. So it blew, I want to say, hard to see, but they started all piling up here. So I want to say the Stihl blew about 2 feet less. So, I mean, I think this one kind of started blowing into its wake. You can see the path was a little bit wider on this one, but this one was wider going longer. So yes, that did blow the leaves a little bit longer, the Echo, but I mean, the Stihl kind of got bunched up from the stuff that came over. So I would say for the 2 foot of difference, and it's thinned out so bad at the end, the last 2 feet, it wasn't even 6 inches wide. So I don't know, man. Comparing two machines that are, you know, 15 cc's different, an 80 cc machine versus a 65 cc machine, I'm not sold. For being 3 pounds heavier, straps are about the same, but we'll do our conclusion. All right, so in conclusion, this model is more powerful, has a more powerful engine, is heavier, has a bigger fuel tank, uses, I filled that all the way to the top of the neck, and this one you can't see, but it's down to here. So they both use a decent amount of fuel. I still think my Stihl is more comfortable. You know, being that it's light, I think it's heavy, but this one's 3 pounds heavier. So, I mean, 3 pounds might not sound like a lot, but the difference between 26 and almost 30 pounds, I mean, there was a little couple tenths there. It wouldn't start on full throttle. So I couldn't start it, and I had to, like, which kind of skewed the test too. So, I mean, I don't know if I like this big filtration system. I mean, I've never even had to, I checked the filter in this one, and it never even, it's still clean. But I like how everything is sealed though. On the Stihl, everything is sealed. You know, the muffler is sealed. It's got this case around it. The fuel tank's out in the open, so if you ever weed whacked along a fence or something and you turn, this might snag or whatever, but that might be, I mean, you landscape guys, I mean, what's important to you? I mean, like I said, the Stihl, all this is enclosed, which, I mean, for the Stihl being all enclosed and still being lighter, I mean, this thing's more stripped out. You know what I mean? It seems really, like, this stuff seems really flimsy in here. I don't know. It just seems like it's made really flimsier compared to the Stihl. Even like the plastic chute just feels really, I don't know, for a machine that's not really used. I mean, I'd like to see them compared, you know, back to back in a commercial environment where, you know, they get thrown around and beat around, and like this thing doesn't have many hours on it. Mine probably has triple the hours, maybe even more hours on it. And mine's holding up decent. You know, this one already seems like it's wobbly and loose, and I don't know. I mean, I guess it's all in personal preference. I mean, I'm not trying to say one's better than the other, but you know, this one's $650 something. They make the newer model is the 9010, which is basically the same thing. It's a little bit different. I think might be something different with the carburetor system or something. I was trying to look it up before, but you know, I mean, I was trying to look it up last night, but I mean, pick your poison, man. In conclusion, you know, they're both really good, high quality machines. I don't think you can go wrong with either one, but this one is probably cheaper off the bat than this guy. So, I mean, if you want to save 100, 125 bucks, I mean, I know they make the 800, which is probably more comparable to that because it's an 80 cc. I thought this was 70. I thought this was a 70 cc, but it comes to find out it's only a 65 is what Stihl listed at, 65 point something, and this is a 79.9. So, I mean, that's a pretty big difference going from a 65 to an 80 cc, but it's heavier and it's got a bigger fuel tank. You know what I mean? And it probably uses just as much more fuel. So, All right, if you like these videos, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I have a buddy who's got a Red Max, the big 80cc Red Max. He was supposed to be here today, but he had a lot of things going on. So I might do another video in the same test. I might do the same test again because, like I said, then it's not user because, you know, when you're moving the wand, you're controlling how you do it. You know what I mean? So just putting it there and just letting it rip through the leaves and just seeing how much airflow and how much air pressure it comes. Now, mind you, there were sticks in there and acorns, and some were a little bit wetter than others. I mean, it wasn't a perfect thing, but a real world situation to put them all lined up like that and to see, you know, one blew a little bit further, but a wider path or a less narrow path. I mean, like I said, I mean, is it worth the extra money and is it worth the extra, you know, weight? You got to remember, most people who use backpack blowers, you know, they hold on to them for a long time and they use them for, you know, 6 to 8 hours a day. That 3 or 4 extra pounds might be, you know, a deal breaker for some. But all right, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to have more of these videos out. I'm going to make a playlist of just product reviews and testing different ones. So, all right, guys, I really appreciate it. The channel's been blowing up lately. I'm trying to do more content and more things. So I appreciate all the support. Thank you, guys.